Hello and welcome to the examples belonging to lesson 22, how to play the endgame, some misconceptions taken away. Now the first position we're going to take a look at is taken from a game that I played against somebody called Sika on chess.com in January of 2009. Okay, in the introduction you could read something about playing without queens and with your kings. In this position I'm playing white, and there are some things that we can note, of course. In the first place, white has two extra pawns, but his king is not so active. On the other hand, black's king is quite close to this free pawn on d6, and if he's allowed maybe to play king e8, king f8, e8, he can try and set up some kind of a defense here on the light squares. Fortunately for white, it is his move, and even though he's playing without his king, he can use tactics in this position to win the game more or less immediately. Okay, so I suppose I've already said something about the nature of the position. When there is such a strong pawn on the 6th rank, in this case, on the verge of promotion, this normally means that the position is tactical in nature, and you can start looking for ways to really bring it to the other side of the board. So there is attack in the sense that you want to promote the pawn, and of course there's defense in the sense that in this case black wants to try and stop the pawn from promoting. Okay, well, in this position I did not play rook c7, because that indeed would allow black's king to come closer and set up some kind of a block on the light square of d7. Now rather, I used tactical means in first checking the king from c8, and now if the king would go backwards, then I would be able to play rook c7, trade rooks if necessary, and then just go on to win the bishop versus knight endgame when I still have my 2-pawn plus positive imbalance. Okay, so my opponent didn't retreat the king to g7, but rather he played knight e8. But of course this weakens his grip on the d7 square, and now I do play rook c7, which again is of course a tactical move because it sacrifices the rook on c7. But since for the moment black's grip on d7 has lessened, I'm now really threatening to play d6, d7, since it no longer protected 2 times, or first to exchange rooks and then play d6, d7 when I would either promote on d8 or on e8 if black would keep his knight on e8. Okay, so in this position, after rook c7, black could have tried knight takes c7, but then it becomes apparent that after d takes c7, there is no way to stop the pawn from promoting, or it would have to be to sacrifice the rook, and then of course the ending is easily winning, being the bishop and an extra pawn up. So if we go back to the game, after rook c7 my opponent played knight f6, trying again to prevent my pawn from going to d7, you know, again defending the light squares. But now what do? It's another tactical principle. I eliminate the defender, so I take the knight. And in doing so I also lure the black rook to f6, from where it is not defending the d7 square. Now I can play d7 immediately, but then all of a sudden king f8 to e8 would still somehow defend, right? So what I do first, making use of the fact that the black king cannot go to e7 right now, is again check on the back rank, and then if the king moves I play d7, and d8 queens is no longer stoppable. So after rook c8 check, my opponent resigned.